On August 23rd of 2017, Typhoon Hato slammed into mainland China. It made landfall in Zhuhai, a prefecture-level city in Guangdong province. About 2.5 million people watched as 90-mile-per-hour winds sent water rushing into their streets. If it wasn't bolted down, it got blown away. Several videos emerged from Zhuhai City showing just how powerful Hato was. According to the South China Morning Post, it was the strongest storm to hit the region in over 18 years. Zhuhai is a stone's throw away from Hong Kong. Both cities experienced severe damage thanks to Typhoon Hato. Hundreds of flights were cancelled, cars were up to their roofs in water, and low-lying areas were totally flooded. Skyscrapers usually light up the night sky in both cities. After Hato passed, though, everything went dark. At its peak, Typhoon Hato slammed into China with wind speeds topping 115 miles per hour. Several cranes blew off the sides of skyscrapers. As we see in the footage, it was enough to tip 18-wheelers like Tonka trucks. Once the storm subsided, people used canoes to navigate the flooded streets. In total, the storm caused about $6.4 billion worth of damage across southern China. At over 12,000 feet, Mount Semeru is the highest volcano on the Indonesian island of Java. The locals refer to the steep side volcano as Mahameru, or the Great Mountain. Semeru is very active, experiencing hundreds of eruptions between the 19th and 20th centuries. As of today, Semeru has been erupting since April of 2014. That eruption peaked on December 4th of 2021. It's believed that the lava dome at the summit crater collapsed due to heavy rain, sparking a massive explosion. It produced an ash plume that some suggested was 28 miles high. Other reports said it was much smaller, only about 7 miles high. Whatever the case, the locals living in the village below were in for a harrowing experience.
Astagfirullah. Allah, Allah, ya Allah. Lava ơi.
It was pure chaos after Mount Semeru blew its lid. People fled the nearby villages as rescue workers pushed in to save those in need. They found homes and mosques buried up to their roofs in ash. There's no way anyone trapped inside could have made it. The December 4th eruption was the largest at Mount Semeru in recent history. As of December 9th, it had displaced over 6,500 people. 3 districts in East Java were covered in hot ash and lava avalanches. The eruption damaged nearly 3,000 homes and affected 24 schools across the region. Lufeng is a coastal city in China, east of Hong Kong. It sits on the banks of the South China Sea, making them vulnerable to typhoons during the stormy season. On July 9th of 2015, the 10th named storm of the summer season slammed into coastal China. Even though Typhoon Linfa was only a tropical storm, a Category 1 typhoon at best, it still caused plenty of damage in Lufeng City. People struggled to stay on their feet, and loose objects got tossed around. Those who kept their footing were able to capture some stunning footage. At least some of the locals were in good spirits. We can't imagine what we'd do if we saw our shower draining bubble up like that. Fish swam through cracks in the sidewalk. One guy got a kick out of some plastic stools blowing away. Wind speeds topped 106 miles per hour when Linfa made landfall. It also dropped about 10.6 inches of rain across southern China. Nearly 400,000 people were without power and 56,000 others were displaced. Hundreds of homes collapsed and the damage toll reached about $213 million. In June of 2022, Montana Lieutenant Governor Kristen Juras declared a statewide disaster due to catastrophic flooding in Yellowstone National Park. Heavy rain battered the Yellowstone area. That, combined with melting snow, caused widespread flooding throughout the region. Several roads and bridges were destroyed, along with a few unfortunate houses. Gardiner, Montana is a small community of about 800 people. They were among the most affected cities and towns during the Yellowstone floods. On June 13th, as the flooding finally calmed, a few locals gathered to watch someone's house float downstream.
Here we go.
Gotta hit that top. He's gonna hit that bridge.
Yes. Look at that insulation. Oh! Just floor. I figured it's gonna stop.
Ramon and Nicole Perez worked for the National Park Service. They'd been living in employee housing for the past 5 years. They and 4 other families couldn't believe their eyes when their home fell into the river and floated away. A crowd gathered near the bridge when someone spotted the Perez home. It had sunk down to the roof and almost made it under. To make matters worse, Highway 89 was completely flooded, preventing anybody from getting in or out of the town. Tourists were stuck and locals couldn't get to the grocery store. Couples like Ramon and Nicole had to rely on friends for help. Camarines Norte is a province on Luzon, the largest island in the Philippines. It sits on the banks of the Philippine Sea, leaving them and the rest of the country exposed to powerful typhoons. On November 11th of 2020, the 10th storm that year wreaked havoc across the country. Typhoon Vamco made landfall around midnight as a Category 2 storm. Locals across Camarines Norte took shelter as 80-mile-per-hour winds whipped through their neighborhoods. One family decided to record the storm as it ripped apart the power lines outside. The families had been without power for a few days. They were only a week removed from Typhoon Goni, which destroyed thousands of homes across the Philippines. It was also responsible for tearing down the pole. Once the storm died down, repair teams drove out to fix the damage. They finally got it up and running, but Vamco had other plans. By midday on November 12th, hundreds of thousands of families throughout the city were left without power or internet. Many were stuck in their homes and unable to get food or supplies. In the end, typhoons Vamco and Goni caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. They were among the costliest in Philippine history. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.